for joining me. You saw the documentary last night of, what was the name of it? Nobody Knows Her Sorrow, Who Killed Ann Brewster. What did you think about that? You said you often thought a lot about whether it was suicide or whether it was murder.
I think the title is befitting, but are we really having justice in this particular moment for her? This lady was iconic for what she did for us, for women such as you and I, what she did for the movement. And I don't want her death to be tainted with suspicion. I want us to find out what happened to Miss Brewster. And that is the very reason that I'm authoring a resolution to open up this investigation with all of these parties that are involved, with all of the information that we have. I think that we need to do our due diligence in the city of Shreveport and find out what really happened to Ann Brewster.
Yeah, I think that Dr. Gary Joyner said the same thing, that he's done enough research. He knows other people that have done research that he thinks there is enough to move forward. So what does it mean to author a resolution? And I know that you kind of sent that out. What does that mean?
It is a request, and it is voted on by the council, and we are requesting, I am requesting and asking my colleagues to support me in this effort of opening up this investigation, of asking the Shreveport Police Department, along with working with the District Attorney's Office, the Caddo Parish Coroner's Office, to look into her death. I think now what we have with technology, the forensics and where we are versus back then, did we really investigate her death back then? When I read the newspaper article of her death, I was appalled at what was written at that time, because she offered so much more. She risked her life so we would have civil liberties.
You don't think anything made her so upset that she would have taken her own life? I know there was the whole allegation of her having a relationship with Dartois, which many people say that's not true. But what about a relationship that she may have had with a young man that ended poorly, as Maxine Sarpy said?
I think plenty of us have been in relationships where it has been difficult for us, but it does not push us to the point where we're going to turn around and take our life. She had everything to live for, and she was living for us. And that is what I'm saying, that when I want to go in and make sure that we see the real cause, not the speculations, really don't care about those particular rumors because of what she did for us. This is a businesswoman who was a civil rights activist, who risked her life to bring in freedom riders that opened up her home, who met with Dr. King, Abernathy, and all of these people during this time of segregation and hate. Dartois was a hateful man. My daddy would tell me about him all the time. The fact that she is no longer here with us makes me ask this one question. Ms. Brewster, what do you really want us to know? What is it that we really need to solve to give you some closure, to give your family some closure? Because no matter what, you will always be iconic to us.
You actually went by the home.
I did.
And kind of spoke that.
I did. I did. We're going into Women's History Month in March. I don't think I have to tell you what that means, being a woman. But a woman during Jim Crow time, you had 3 women that were business owners at a time during lynchings, killings, when they were registering people and they weren't afraid to use their voice. They were self-employed so they can give their life and their time and their sacrifice to the movement. We owe that to them. We owe it to her.
How do you think your colleagues are going to vote on this resolution?
I am hoping that they vote yes. That is my hope. And I hope that they understand, especially my African American colleagues, we're here because of her.
Let me ask this last question. Why did it take 60 years for us to look at this and get some interviews to say, okay, we need to take another look? So many times I've asked, I've heard about Ann Brewster, but it ended with she was a civil rights movement, political figure that had a force, and she was found shot to death in her home. People say she committed suicide, and that was the end of it. But something made me dig deeper to bring that story, but I'm just wondering if I didn't, will we just still be asking the question about what happened to her?
I thank God that he compelled you to do it and that you are doing it, because that's what it takes, Dominique, that you said, I want to do this. And even you knew the risk of taking and doing that. And so when you say, I want to do this, then I can say, I want to do this too. And so we're here now. 60 years, we weren't born at that time, but we're here now. And so I think it's imperative that we honor what she started, because this fight never ends.
If the resolution goes forward, what happens next? It goes to SPD. I know that you've been in contact with them. We've already talked to the DA, who says, hey, if SPD opens it back up, we'll take another look.
Yes, that is my hope. I reached out to Chief Smith and asked him, and we opened this and we said, okay, we'll go over here and discuss this further. But I want to bring all parties to the table to do that, and asking Mr. Joyner and Mr. Lee to come to the council meeting in March to discuss this from the historical perspective, because I think that is very, very important. And again, what Ms. Brewster wants us to know, I want that to be revealed.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Excellent.